Despite the fact that we have a negative NFP report on Friday, where we first saw the US dollar decline from this top back here, but it's short-lived. Do you know why? Because what is actually moving the market right now is not the data, it's more of geopolitics. That is the political aspect of the economy. So the poll is still in favor of Donald Trump as of today, and these are all the factors that market is still taking into consideration. But we don't know what will happen yet, as the election has not been concluded. But probably November 5, we should actually know where we are going, and then we should know the winner between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And as you can see, the DSY is still strong. That's the US dollar. It is still strong. So, like I said, the decline from year to year short-lived on Friday, and then we saw price breaking above this triangular pattern. So for me, as you have seen that this has occurred, and previously we have some level around this area, which is also a level of resistance, probably turning support at this area after we saw this rejection at 103.751. So probably we should see DSY, it has settled below 104, and then probably we should see price going to 106, which is the next level. Probably another level is there, which is a very strong level too, which is a very strong level. So first, if there is no rejection at 104.731, then should see price going back to 106.075. So what I just want to say is that next week, market is even looking somehow there's no clear direction you get, so everything is just turning on its own. But there are some level I'm still actually looking at in the market, which I will show you. Like, okay, these are the level you actually want to buy at, and these are the levels you want to sell at. But one of the most important thing I will advise every trader going to the next week is that capital preservation is very, very important. If you don't see what you are looking for, because next week we've been seeing the volatility coming into the market last week, and next week will be worst. And to sum it up, we have FOMC decision next week. That is from the Federal Reserve. So they are going to drop the interest rate reports next week, and we have Australian dollar monetary policy too next week. So all these things, all this accumulation of the economic activities will bring a lot of volatilities in the market next week, and we might actually see some irrational movement a lot, where price might not even respect your demand, supply, respect your support, respect your resistance, even respect your probably maybe down shoulder and stuff like that. So you might see price taking liquidity from somewhere and still go back there. So which means that you just have to be careful next week. You just have to be extra careful again. So there is no harm in preserving your capital you get for next week. But if you still find a trading opportunity that's to entry, I will still advise you to enter without fear. So next week, I've told you what I'm actually looking at on the DSY, which means that we should still see more strength coming to the DSY, that's the US dollar. Probably you see price going back to 104.731, and if there is no probably rejection at this level, if we have no rejection at this level that will break 103.754, then we should see price settle at 106 level we get next week. But if we actually see something like this next week, the price go back here, and then we have a break, and then this particular level break, then probably maybe we'll be waiting for the US dollar weakness. But you know, this retracement is long due. Like the US dollar retracement is long due. As you can see, price is just pumping without a major retracement. So this little retracement we saw here after this triple top, short-lived, and then close above this level, which means that there's a probability that price will touch 104731, and is either it's reject from there or break above, and then still price going back to 106. So that's that on the DXY. So if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Ambafx, and then here I bring the latest insights in the world of Forex market, the fundamental and the technical, including the sentimental. So do well to subscribe, like, and share, and don't forget to turn on the notification in case I drop a new video so that you will be notified. And before we go to the individual currency, let's check the economic activities of next week. So like I said, we have interest rate report from the Australian dollar on Tuesday. Monday is a quiet day, so no much economic activities on Monday. But on Tuesday, we have the interest rate from the billion dollar interest rate report. Same day, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI, ISM service PMI, the presidential election, the Congress election on Tuesday. So just want to be very, very careful next week. Like I said, market will be very, very volatile. On Wednesday, we have final service PMI, we have Canadian dollar IV PMI, US dollar crude oil inventory. Thursday, we still have monetary policy summary, monetary policy report from the Bank of England. You get, so they are proposing on cutting interest rates by 25 basis points. This is what I'm actually saying. US dollar strength should come in, and if you see the likes of GU with this proposing of 4.5% interest rates cuts, then it means that GU should sell. Even if they are going to release, if they are not going to cut, but before Thursday, we should see GBP US dollar to the downside, because probably market will be pricing it that 25 basis point you get, because the previous one is the drop is 5.0, and now they want to cut back to 7.5, which means that some investor might not find it funny and might want to remove their money from the UK economy, you get, and go to invest somewhere else where they will see a higher return in their money. So which means that as the election is controlling the US dollar, which make it strong due to, you know, I think somebody say the US election, they call it $14 billion election. Yeah, I think I can remember that. So a $14 billion election, which means that there's a lot of money pumped into the US economy right now, you get, until after election. And after election, you might see the US dollar dump, you get. I'm of the opinion that you still continue to see the US dollar strength. And then, as you can see, they themselves, they want to cut their interest rate by 25 basis points right there. And then on Friday, we have Canadian dollar unemployment rate and then employment change. So as you can see, we have a lot of activities next week. There's a lot of economic activities next week, from the monetary policy, from the presidential election, and then, you know, we have the Congress election too, to the pounds interest rate report, to the US dollar interest rate report, and then to the Canadian dollar job data report. So based off of more volatility next week, like a lot of volatilities next week. So before we continue, let's continue with the individual pair on my watch list. The first pair on my watch list is gold. So as you can see, gold right there, there's somewhat of head and shoulder around this particular area. And then the funny part is that after we have a rejection here, price break this line, there's still rejection here, price come back and then reject at this high, which means that probably we might see price coming back to this area and then more rejection back to 2700. You get, so back to this particular area, that is 2720, before we see the continuation to probably break a new high. But for me, I still believe that gold will still probably sell it from this particular area. So this is where I'm looking to sell gold from next week, probably if it happens on Monday. So I'm gonna be waiting for price to come back here and then reject down back to this particular area, which means that any trade I want to take here, my stop loss will be up here. So I'll be waiting for price to come back to this area for me to take a sell position back to this particular area or this low. So probably I might first use this low as my first TP if it's actually rejected. So this low might actually be my TP, you get. So let's see how it goes there. So probably if price come back here, and then I see a rejection, then probably maybe I'm looking for another up move that will break this particular high, because we're in a period of uncertainty. So the next pair I want to look at is GBP US dollar. So as you can see, price didn't close above the area where I actually said I want to buy GBP USD from. So last week there's a bullish pressure at this area, but it's short-lived and the price break this, and then we saw price settling below that particular area. And then previously there is this break of this flag pattern to the downside, and then a retest. So price did what? Price sell massively. What really happened here is that right after price sold massively last week, you still see it coming back to retest this area and still sell some rejection there, which means that what I'm actually looking for here is to sell GBP US dollar. You get, so I just want to sell GBP US dollar, which means that any retracement I see probably back to this area is an opportunity for me to sell back to this low and then back to 1.27357, as we have a lot of economic activities next week, you get. So which means that I'm of the opinion of selling DU next week, and I won't be buying DU until price close above 1300 level, as you can see slip. If price close above the I will be in for a buy. But for price to stay below this level, what I'm actually looking for is pure to the downside, that direction. So which means that any retracement here, probably on Monday morning London section, then I'll be in for a sell setup, because we still have a 25 basis points rate cut coming on Thursday, and all of these with the US election, that is even the US dollar strength, so all of this might actually be packed together as a confluence to actually sell GBP US dollar. So going to the Euro US dollar, and then what I'm actually seeing here is a little bit confusing, because if you check the weekly time frame, you see that price is has approached that level of support level, but we still have some resistance level here that price has been failing to break above. You get, last week price attempt it and then price reject back to this area. So I won't be surprised if the weekly candle next week closes bearish. Like I said, there is a probability of the Euro US dollar closing below this low next week. So if you check, because one of the reasons I said previously was that we have a rejection at this high. Assuming price close below this above this high, then we'll continue seeing the US dollar strength, the Euro US dollar going to the upside. So if you check the daily candle of the daily time frame, you see that price closes below this previous day low, and then as things are now, we might actually be looking for a retracement to actually sell back to this low. And if this low did not hold, as we know that we have volatility next week, then we should see price coming back to 0.06670. And if you check the 4-hour time frame, you see that price creates something like a multiple high, and then there's a liquidity grab at this area, and price come below this level. So which means that this trend line has been invalidated, and then we might actually see a retracement coming back to this particular area to sell back to this level, which means that any retracement you see here is an opportunity for you to look for a bearish setup back to 0.07900. And the funny thing is that we might still see this place holding as support, so we can't write off this particular support level because it's a very strong support level which price might reject from, and we'll see price moving above 0.9000. But you just have to be careful next week and then see how price reacts to each of this level before you want to make your decision. And then on the contrary to, price might close above this, so just have to make your decision based on what you see next week. But I've actually told you the area where you'll be looking to sell. Probably me, I'll be looking to sell from this area if there's a retracement back to this low, as we can see that the US dollar strength is still on the radar, and we have the US election next week. So which means that if this level break, if there is no support level coming back to this area, we should see price breaking this support level, and then price coming back to 1.06670. So the next one I want to check is the AUD US dollar. As you can see, if we use the 1 hour time frame, you see how this AUD US dollar is reacting at this level. There is a range here, and then if we go back to the weekly time frame, you see that this low right here, you see that the next low is here. Let's even filter. You want to filter the week, and then we will just want to use the level. This is the next low at 0.65062. So if you use the daily time frame, you see that there is a 2-day rejection at this area, but price failed to maintain above this particular level. And then we saw after the NFP last week, and then we now saw the price closing below for the day. So which means that we are still in a downtrend on AUD USD, and then there's still room for price to actually sell back to 0.65062. So any time frame you want to probably use and enter. For me, if I want to remove this, then probably this will be the area of resistance I will be looking at. And then as price is still in a range, we don't know when this range will be over. But for me, any retracement I see will give me an opportunity to sell back to this low in the weekly time frame. This particular low right here, you get this low right here in the weekly time frame. And then if you see the monthly time frame, it's opens lower too, which means that you might see, and we have the interest rate report from the Australian dollar next week. That one too is a factor. So which means that we should be waiting for price to come back to this low right here, to this low of 0.65074. So in the 4-hour time frame, I'll be looking to sell at the market price right here. And then if we use if you filter the what is it called, the weak rejection, you'll see that even at that range, price has broken through this zone, you get, even with the range. And then most of the time the weak rejection can actually be confusing, so that's why I can use the line sometimes to filter the noise. So which means that price has settled below this particular area. Any retracement you see is an opportunity for you to look for a sell setup back to 0.65074. So that's what I'm looking at on AUD USD going to the next week. On SND USD, I have a similar pattern playing out on this SND US dollar. And one of the things I wanted to check here is that let's use the 3 hours. As price keeps on retesting this resistance, is creating a new low. It retests, create a new low, it retests, and which means that probably there is a probability of creating a new low at this particular area, which means that probably any retracement I see probably maybe back to here, and then or here is an opportunity for me to look for a sell setup back to 0.5867. So I won't be buying SND USD unless I see price settle above 0.59915. This is where I want to be buying SND USD from. So anything below this area, I will be selling SND USD probably back to 0.58674. So I think you should be looking at that level too, based on your analysis. But the whole directional bias is what I'm actually talking about. You can enter based on your own analysis, but for me, I don't think you should enter a buy if price has not broken this 0.59915 upward. Anything below it is a sell setup for me back to 0.58674. So I'll be entering based on my confirmation bias. So on Euro AUD, what I'm actually seeing here is a retracement. Probably price has broken below this particular area and is settled below it. So we might see a sell setup back to 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, 1.6 Fibonacci retracement level, or probably back to this particular area before we see a bullish setup around that particular area. So this is what I'm actually looking at here for price to retrace back to this area, you get, before looking for a buy setup that will break this to the upside. And then we can actually use the opportunity to short Euro AUD from here probably on Monday. So if we still see price settling down below this particular area, so I'll be looking to short and be taking my profit at 0. That's a 50% fib level, or taking my profit at 61.8 fib level, because at this particular area price will actually return back, and then we'll see price going to the upside. All these things, all the pairs I'm showing you right here is not like before, where you see a full confirmation that okay, this thing is going to sell, this thing is going to sell, like a high probability that is going to sell. That's why I said what I'm actually seeing in the market right now is not something that is appealing or appalling. I don't know how the English I want to use right there. So which means that I'm actually trading based on those level next week. If probably maybe price close below it or close above it and stuff like that, so then I'll enter based on my own entry bias. If I see like 3 confirmation for me to actually enter, so probably you also can actually do that. So I'm just giving you a broader perspective about the market right now, so the wider perspective. So which means that next pair is a AUD Canadian dollar. Now, as you can see, price keeps falling, and then we'll actually see what is going to happen at this area. If this area didn't hold as support level, then we should see price coming back to 0.90273. So like I said, next week we are going to see a lot of volatilities in the market, so you just have to be very, very careful with your decisions next week. So which means that as you can see, price still settling below this area, which means that I can see price coming back to this area, and then if this area break, then we'll see price coming back to let's say 0.90275. The next one I want to check is Canadian dollar JPY. This one is what I actually have a solid bias on. The reason of my solid bias is there's a gap here, and then price gap up, and the price came back to fill the gap, and after filling the gap, what next? We'll see a more move to the upside, which means that next week I'm expecting price to break this particular high right here. And even if we are going to see a retest of this trend line, I'm expecting price to reject here and then hit 112012 next week. So my bias on JPY next week is to the upside. You have a solid bias to the upside, unless this 108.917 break. That's what we'll be looking for an opportunity to what, to short Canadian dollar JPY. So I'll be buying Canadian dollar JPY or do nothing going to the next week. So this is where I will be buying from, and then I'm expecting this high to break. So on GBP USD, what I'll be looking for is a sell setup, and then we have a 25 basis point rate cut in anticipation and from Bank of England, which means that what I'm actually seeing here is nothing new. And then this is probably neckline, a breakout, a retest you get, and then probably anything below this area is a sell for me back to 2.14822. Here is a solid bias around this environment to the downside. So this is what I'm actually looking at on GBP USD. So I want to actually sell from here and then taking my profit at 2.14822. So anything above this area, above 2.16643, I won't be trading GBP USD. But if price still stay below this area, and as you can see, you can actually see that the 50 moving average and 200 moving average is gradually coming above the price, which means that we'll see price coming back to 2.14822. And the last pair we want to check out today is USD card. That is our New Zealand dollar versus Canadian dollar. So which means that you can see that there is a lot of rejection at this area. You get, like I said, market is very rational going to the next week, and then there's a lot of things that will confuse you in the market, but you just have to enter based on if the checklist of what you are looking for is marked, then you do what you execute without fear. So for me, I'm actually looking at on USD card is a sell setup back to this area. You get a sell setup. So if price break below this level I'm setting right here, so this is a level. If I see that price break below it, so I'll be looking for a sell setup back to 0.8200. But if price break above it, I'll be sitting on my hand without trading USD card. So what I'm actually waiting for here is just one direction. I guess I'm not trading it if price break above this area. I'm just trading it if I see that price break below this area, which means that even if I want to enter, probably my stop loss will be somewhere above this area, and I'll be going for a 1:3 risk into reward you get. So that is what I want to trade on USD card. So these are the pairs on my watch list. You get going to the next week, so just have to be careful next week, because we have a lot of economic activities next week: AUD, pounds, Canadian dollar, and the biggest one, which is the US dollar. So don't forget to like this video, because if you like this video, the algorithm will take this video to people that actually need it, like you, the people that need to watch the video like you. And don't forget to drop a comment. The YouTube algorithm to identify comments, and then with the comment it actually make the video go far. And then there's a link to a verified broker in the description box, so do well to register and then start trading. We have a verified pro firm too in the description box, so you have 3 pro firm there, which till today we don't have any payout issue from them, especially from the fundedness and the 5%. So you can just click the link and buy one of them and enjoy your payout. So you can actually enjoy your payout if you keep on watching the weekly forex forecast, so that you make your informed decision in the market every week, so that you won't be confused on what to trade and what to look at in the market. So we'll see next week, probably after the US election. As for now, take care, have a lovely trading week ahead, and don't forget to trade safely.